Hey guys, Stephanie here with Festive Creations by Stephanie. We are going to make one of our new wreath kits that we tackled today. And if it's your first time joining me, my name is Stephanie Williams, owner and operator of Festive Creations by Stephanie, where we inspire people and mentor them, as well as provide supplies to make the inspirations. And we teach you how to grow your online business. Come on in and say hey. I'm going to pull up your comment. So this is our inspiration tonight. It's one of our new signs. Nobody fights alone. And of course, breast cancer awareness is coming up in October, along with fall, pumpkin season, Halloween, right? So there's so many opportunities for us to design and create. And this one is a little near and dear to my heart. So we have a new breast cancer awareness. So we're going to make, this is actually on the website as a wreath kit. It's going to come with your wreath frame, this sign, a roll of mesh, and where have you been? You've been hiding. So I actually started my cable tie mounts to the back, and you can use a metal hole punch. But I choose to use the cable tie mounts most of the time. I've mounted 3, but I left 1 so that I could show you guys how I do this. So I use the 1-inch square cable tie mounts, and I just use my DAP rapid fuse glue, put a little spot on there, just a tiny little speck of glue, and take the paper off my adhesive backing and put it right on top of that glue. Kind of hold that out, hold that in, and let it set for a second. So I start out with this so that these can cure and secure themselves with that glue while I'm working on the wreath. All right, so for this one, the wreath kit comes with the 10.5-inch cotton ball mesh, and we are going to cut this into 20-inch strips, and we're going to need 18 20-inch strips. Y'all don't want to go more than 20 inches, never more. Actually, it's always best because some of the rolls aren't cut exactly at 10 yards. And of course, when I cut these, I just throw them on the floor typically. So now we're going to take our wreath frame, and I'm going to do this frame in somewhat of a pancake style. So y'all have heard, may or may not have heard of the pancake style wreath. Typically with a pancake wreath, you're going to use a 14-inch frame, like the Dollar Tree frame, right? With the pancake wreath, you typically will use a Dollar Tree frame, which is a 14-inch frame, and it doesn't sit up quite as high as this elevated work frame. But we're going to use parts of the pancake wreath style, and we're going to mix it up and make it my own here. So you're going to see a mixture of a couple of different styles. All right, so we're going to make a traditional ruffle, and this was the end of the roll, so it really wants to curl, so I'm going to give it a little weight here. And we're going to do a ruffle. Just kind of walk that up in the center. And we're just going to do a traditional ruffle. And we're going to set that vertically into the wreath ties. And then spread that guy out, just like that. So there is our first ruffle. We're going to go all the way around the bottom of this frame with the ruffles. And then that's where I'm going to transition techniques. So normally, when we do a ruffle on the 15-inch frame, we will do both the top and the bottom rows. But this time we're going to change it up, and we're going to kind of mix in the pancake style as well. So see how I am placing these in vertically. Let me do one so that you guys can see the angle of how I'm putting those in. And if it wants to curl up and misbehave, I just put a little weight on the end. All right, so I'm placing that ruffle vertically into my twist tie, which that one I have to so I'm going to set it this way. Give this a couple of good twists, and then spread out my ruffle. So right now, this is what it looks like. We have not done the top row. We're actually going to pause for the cause, and this is where I'm kind of mixing up the pancake style wreath, because if you make a pancake style, you actually put the bottom row of ribbon on before you add the top row of mesh. So we're going to add some ribbon, and I'm using this kit. Comes with the 1.5 inch with the breast cancer awareness ribbons on it. This one's got a black stripe, and we're going to use the fuchsia in the solid. So we're going to need 10 of these to go around the bottom. So I'm just going to cut the 10 for the ribbon tails. And I like to put that on my spool holder to kind of hold on to it. These are going to be 13-inch ribbon tails. Two, three, 4, 5. Hang on, Kelly. I got to get my toes out. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we're going to need 10 around the bottom of our 2 different ribbon. So that's our first color. All right, so I added my tails down here, and one of the reasons that I'm doing that is when we go to add the next layer of mesh is these will actually lay nicer down there. Can y'all see that? I love this ribbon. Love it, love it, love it. So we're going to do that all the way around the outside. All right, so this is the outer layer only. Remember, we have not started adding the top layer of mesh. And look at how thin that is. All right, so now I'm going to start adding my ruffles to the top row. And of course, there's 8 twist ties on the top row on the 15-inch frame. I'm going to lay it in here vertically. Look at how full that's getting now that we're adding that second layer. All right, so I've added the cable timeouts already. So we're going to add our sign, and I'm going to place that right on top of our mesh. And I'm going to put the pipe cleaners right down through the mesh into the frame and get positioned here. All right, so now that I've got my sign positioned, I'm going to turn that over and I'm going to hunker it down. And I try to go opposite so that the tension is about the same on both sides. All right, one last pipe cleaner to secure, and then we'll check the stability of our sign. And I typically don't cut off any pipe cleaners until I've done this part. So when I say check the stability, I want to make sure that there's no rocking and rolling going on. It survives the shake test. And now that sign fits very nicely on top of the mesh. I still have my twist ties accessible. Nothing's getting squished in here. And my bottom row of ribbon tails are pretty much still intact. They haven't moved much from me flipping it over. And I love the way they're laying. All right, so now we're going to do a bow, or the top up here. So I do a couple of different varieties. Now I have a third ribbon that we haven't introduced yet. However, this is, if you have this wreath kit, you've got some options. You can do your traditional wreath tails or ribbon tails. So let's say, cut that off. That, and I'm not going to cut these yet. So let's say we do a 13-inch tail, pinch that and put it in here just like a 13-inch tail. So now we're going to have more ribbon tails like so, correct? Or sometimes what I like to do is take one single ribbon, cut a 24-inch piece. Let me dovetail the ends. And then I like to make a little bow tie. So I just do a little loop to where my edges are kind of hanging over. Come here in the center, pinch, and make a little bow tie. And then I will take my bow tie and put it right inside of that twist tie. And there you have it. So you can do that all the way around, or we can alternate the ribbons and the bow ties so that we have that variety. And I actually think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to use all 3 ribbon and alternate them. So again, just kind of make a circle, leaving my edges longer, pinch it in the center, adjust as needed. My bow tie. One nice thing about this method is I can control where the bows go, and it's not covering up the lettering of my sign. So we're just going to alternate. Let's see, if we do black, how do I want to do this? Check, stripe, solid. Check, stripe, solid. Check, stripe. That'll be fine. That'll actually work out very well. All right. Let's zoom out here. So as I said, this is not a wreath that requires a bow, because look at, let me get the glare off of it here. See, there we go. Look at how much bling that has right there with all the different ribbon in it. Lots of mesh, lots of color, and of course some great contrast between the sign and the other coloring. It pops beautifully, just pops beautifully on that.